how you all doing? It's Liam the Deaf Doom Metalhead with another new video. This time I want to do something completely different, so no collection updates or any ramblings about, you know, Deaf and Doom and that kind of stuff. This is more about a certain sort of format you get when you buy your albums. And not a lot of people talk about it because it's one of those kind of things that a lot of people like and a lot of people don't like, and normally you'll get a mixed results on when you buy it, if you're going to enjoy it or not, because unless you were there you don't know what it's going to sound like. And of course I'm talking about live albums. So in my collection I have quite a few because I like to have that natural sound of a band. So obviously you want the album and you want your discography to look, you know, like the full lengths and all that kind of thing. But for me personally, I like to have some live albums because some bands sound way heavier live than they do on CD, and if you get the right one you can, you know, really, you know, you get the kind of gritty sound that you just don't get on an album. And it's all maybe faster. I mean, certainly for like Slayer releases and stuff like that, they're always faster than they are on the actual CD. So I've got quite a few to show, and they're all definitely worth your time. This is why I'm doing it as well, because a lot of people just outright refuse to buy live albums just because they don't see the point. So showing these might convert you to check them out, at least on YouTube and Spotify and all that kind of crap. This one I imagine everyone's either got or at least heard, and one of my early favourites as a teenager, and that is Slayer's Decade of Aggression. This was probably maybe one of the first live albums I ever bought when I was a teenager and started having my own money. I think it was pocket money back then. But this is fucking awesome. I still listen to this now and again. There's quite a few, like the new one they put out live in LA. I didn't really like the sound of that. I thought the crowd was too noisy, and it sounded like, yeah, you were stood in the crowd watching it, which is cool, but I like to be able to actually hear it really clearly. And even considering how old this is, this still sounds like one of the best live albums they've ever put out. I mean, it's got all the classics on there, you can see there, without the glare. You know, it's just flawless. 3 discs, or 2 discs. 2 discs, sorry. But yeah, classic lineup. You know, Hell Awaits, War Assemble, South of Heaven, Rain of Blood. You know, they're all on there. And you know, I still listen to this day. So yeah, that's Slayer. And then probably the best sounding live album I've ever heard, and in my collection, and again a stone cold classic, and that is Thin Lizzy's Live and Dangerous. I have no idea where this came out. I think it's probably recorded in the late 70s at least, and then I think this came out, 1996 it came out through Mercury Records. I really need to get this on vinyl because I saw it the other day and I didn't buy it, and it's brilliant. I mean, you can see the title tracks there, all the classics again. Really strong lineup. I mean, Thin Lizzy's an amazing band, and one of the big inspirations for me playing guitar when I started out, just because of the dual guitar work and the, you know, amazing live band. And every year we have a tribute band come around the UK called Limehouse Lizzy, that's right. And the bloke is the spitting image of Phil Lynott and even sounds like him. It's really, really cool. And then this one here is probably my favourite Black Sabbath live album. I've got quite a few, and obviously there's been quite a few bootlegs and releases throughout the years, but for me, I mean, this one I have on DVD as well, and it's got Bill Ward on drums, and that is the reunion tour they did in the late 90s. I think this one was filmed in Birmingham as well. And it's got, you know, very fucked up Ozzy on here, swearing a lot, you know, off his face, which we all love. I mean, you're probably never going to see Ozzy again. I've still got tickets to go and see him on the tour he was supposed to do 2 years ago, and I'm pretty sure that's never going to happen. But, you know, you've got the memories. I mean, I've seen Black Sabbath with Ozzy at least 2 or 3 times, and this still holds up for me. I think this is actually Kelly and Jack Osbourne as well, photoshopped to look like little demons. So yeah, but yeah, a really cool one if you haven't checked this one out, because it's got all the classics as well. Really good guitar solo, and there's a few bonus tracks on there as well they did when they reformed in the 90s. And then next, this one is a band that I used to really enjoy, but now not so much. The style's changed too much for me, and as musicians they're fantastic, and as a live band they're still fantastic, but Musically, it just doesn't do anything for me anymore, and that is Opeth, and this is the Roundhouse tapes, which was recorded in London in 2007, I think, through Peaceville. This is a really good live album. I sadly wasn't at the show. I think I missed. I went to buy tickets. I don't know why I didn't go in the end. But this has got, you know, Michael. I can't remember his name now. But when he was doing the growly stuff as well as the clean stuff, because I really like the contrast of the two. And there's different musicians in here as well. But like Blackwater Park, I think is one of their best tracks. I think it's on here. Yeah. Just a great album. Really, really good. But that's a really good live album if you're interested in that. And then one of my favourite Epic Doom bands. This is probably not the best one of theirs, but this one's got one of my favourite singers on it, and that's Robert Lowe. And this is Candlemass's Ash to Ashes. This is like the, I think, 2009 tour they did. And they did Sweden Rock Festival and one in Athens as well. Really good live album. It's got a DVD with this one as well, which I've watched. Just came out through Nuclear Blast. And you can see what the stage setup looked like there. Yeah, it's got, I mean, they're doing some great songs on here. There's some really old ones, some really new ones. You know, a really nice mixture. So that's worth checking out if you you don't have to pay a lot of money for this anymore. You can get it quite cheap on eBay if you look around. So yeah, there's that one. And then I can't remember when I actually bought this. I think when it was brand new. It's the only actual Def CD I own, stupidly. And that is them live in LA in 1998. Really, really good live album. Very rough sounding in some parts, but then it's also got them live in Eindhoven as well. So they're doing a lot of the, you know, Philosopher, Trapped in the Corner, Crystal Mountain, Spirit Crusher. Pretty much the whole catalogue on one set list there. And you know, really, really good. It came out through Relapse. You know, you got the song titles there. But yeah, I really wanted this because it's a band I really, really enjoy, and obviously you're never going to be able to experience them live ever again. So if you can get it on physical format, you can kind of pretend you're there at least. So yeah, that's Def. And then this one I did actually see the tour for, and in my video, my 10 questions, I mentioned about the guitar pick, and that was from this tour in 2007. I believe it wasn't too long after that Dio passed away, so I think this might have been one of the last tours at least, and that is Heaven and Hell, live in Radio City Music Hall. They toured, I think, the whole world that year, doing these songs. 2 discs, great tracks on here, all the heavy stuff. The Devil Cries even on there, which is a really good track. There's a picture of them there. I remember this tour well, got the DVD as well, t-shirt. It's fucking awesome. It's silly how small he was as well, especially as a teenager, and you kind of think they're all going to be giants, and you see how tiny like Dio was especially. But yeah, really good live album, really good production on that one. I still listen to that one now and again. And then this one, completely different style. I love brutal death metal, old school 90s American death metal especially. And this band is brilliant for me. Some of their albums are a bit hit and miss, but you know, this show especially, really, really good. This is Broken Hope. I think this was recorded at Brutal Assault in 2014, yeah. So this is a Blu-ray with a CD as well of the actual live album recorded on top. It got a lot of newer stuff from when they came out at the time and a lot of old stuff. But it's a solid set, really good production. You can hear it crystal clear. It sounds really it sounds better than what it does on the album. That's the main reason I bought it, because you've got some really good tracks on here, like from the 90s, that you can't quite hear the guitar parts for, but you can on this. So that's really cool, and the Blu-ray is really nice as well. So that's that. And then one of my favourite bands on the planet. I've got a few of their live albums, DVDs as well, and for me this is probably one of their best ones there, just purely on the sound, the guitar tones, that stuff. It's My Dying Bride and Ode To Woe. This came out through Peaceville in 2008. It's got the DVD included, so you've got that kind of digipack, and you've got the DVD and CD. Really good set list, really good sound. I think they play in like an old cathedral as well, so it's got a really nice backdrop. And yeah, all the classics on there. Really good sounding live album. Still, again, listen to this one quite regularly in my playlists. So it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't got a copy of this, because it sounds the tits. And then this one isn't the classic lineup, but I actually prefer this live album to the other one they put out. And I'm a big fan of this band, but I can't remember the name of the singer. But that's Trouble, when they played in Los Angeles in the 2008, when they kind of changed the lineup. I have to find out what the singer's name is now, because it's a certain singer who was in the band for maybe one album. Corey Clark, there you go. You read the liner notes, they were kind of pissed off and they kind of wanted to change their style, because their original vocalist, even though I love Trouble, he sounds a bit like a sheep sometimes, his vocal style. But Corey Clark, he sounds really good on this. I'm not sure what bands he was in before, but this is worth checking out. I mean, I only paid like £2 for this off eBay, so if you have a shop round, I mean, even on vinyl I think it's quite cheap. It's got all the, you know, classic songs on there. It's a bit more aggressive as well. They play with a lot more edge to it. So it's definitely worth checking out. It's a really good hard rock album. They're a doom band technically, but for me this has more of a hard rock feel to it, and it's just, you know, really good production. And then this one is a bit of a rarity, and a band that for me personally, if you've heard the new song that's come out the last month, it sounds shit. Musically it sounds really good, but vocal wise it's awful. But annoyingly it's growing on me as well, and I'm kind of half tempted to buy it just because, you know, I'm a big fan. And that is 6 Feet Under, and we're obviously talking about Chris Barnes, original singer from Cannibal Corpse, his project after he left. This is when they were good. You've got Terry Butler on bass, who's obviously in Obituary, was also in Death. Is it Steve Swanson? Yeah, Steve Swanson on guitar, so you got the one guitar player, and Greg Gall on drums. This was recorded at Live with Full Force in Germany, because for some reason as well, when 6 Feet Under come over to Europe, they only ever played Germany. I guess that's where the demand is, but I don't think they've ever been in the UK in the time I've listened to death metal since my late teens. So I'd love to see them. I probably wouldn't want to see them live now, but back then I would have done. This is a great sounding live album. It's got really raw, aggressive tone. Chris Barnes' vocals sound actually really decent. But the bonus CD only includes 6 tracks, and one of them is a studio track. The DVD though is worth watching. You can watch this all on YouTube as well. It's quite easy to find. But yeah, I love 6 Feet Under, but their new one sounds like my dog is doing vocals. So if you haven't checked it out, go on Spotify or YouTube and listen to it, and then let me know what you think, because it ain't pretty. But it's got Jack going on guitars, again another original Cannibal Corpse guy, so kind of, do I get it or not? Who knows. And the last one on my list, again a band I got quite a few live albums from, but this one's one of my favourites. It's a DVD CD package, and that is Paradise Lost's Draconian Times, when they did the tour of the whole album. Can't remember what year this came out. 2011. So I got this brand new when it came out. Didn't go see the tour though. I think my oldest son was born around that time, or was going to be born, that's right, and I couldn't go. You know, the whole album. Then on disc 2 you've kind of got them playing some of their more popular songs throughout their discography. You can kind of see there. But this is worth getting if you can get hold of it, just because it's, you know, a really nice package. Comes with a nice book. I think that's an old download code, but I mean it's probably long gone now, because I thought it was fucking years ago. Tell how old it is where they've got long hair. None of them look like that now. That's for sure. A lot more haggard. Yeah, but yeah, I love Draconian Times. It's a brilliant album. Not their best one for me. I prefer Shades of God. And I've got their latest album, and that's really good, but again it's more leaning towards multiple styles of Paradise Lost instead of that death doom sound that I really love that they used to do. But you know, as times change, you change as musicians, so you can't really be annoyed about it. But yeah, definitely pick this one up if you can. And that's it pretty much. if you can hear music in the background, we are listening to a really obscure CD that I got really cheap, and that is The Howling Void. This is like Funeral Doom from San Antonio, Texas, as a one-man project. You know, I got it really cheap through Solitude Productions, came out in 2010. Bit of Funeral Doom's all right now and again, especially when you're working. You know, you can put this on in the background, just kind of chill out while you're working. So it's good stuff. Bit long for me, but I'm slowly getting into it. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Bit of a random subject, but something that, you know, is quite cool if you're into those kind of albums. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already, and watch all the other content on here. We've got loads going on. And then in the meantime, I'll speak to you guys soon. Take care.